everyone, welcome to our channel, Rebecca, Stu, and the crew. I'm so happy to have you here. Today we have a Dollar Tree DIY and a review of a new product that they just put out. So let's go over the supplies for the DIY, which is a very simple craft. We're going to take these summer tumblers and we are going to personalize them. We'll need some small little cups to put the paint stripper in. I was using nail polish remover, but that worked better. We'll need some scissors, a razor blade. And then we're also going to be either using a Cricut, or you could use the razor blade and cut out your own design for the vinyl, or use stickers. We'll need some sponges and the Dollar Tree vinyl permanent paper. I'm going to be using this holographic vinyl for mine, and I got that at Hobby Lobby. So let's get crafty. This is a very quick, easy craft. I just wanted to show you guys, they have these color changing tumblers out for summer. I think these are so fun. They have 4 different colors and they change when they get cold. There's a sticker on the side and on the bottom, so make sure you remove the sticker off the bottom as well. When I first started, I was using acetone nail polish remover and cotton rounds to remove the paint off of the side. It's not that I don't like the design. I just wanted to personalize these for my kids and actually made these for them for Easter. So what we did is we laid the cotton rounds with the acetone over the paint and let it soak for a while. I came back 30 minutes later. It still wasn't coming off as easy as I would like it. I tried using the little scraper and it helped it to come off. But after a while, I noticed that it was starting to gouge the cup just a little bit. And not that it would look really bad, and I was able to hide it with the vinyl that I put on or stickers. I really didn't want the cup to be all scratched up, so I had to kind of think of a new plan. So I tried using a really light grit sandpaper, like really light. That didn't work. I soaked the acetone a little bit more on the cup, and that wasn't working. It was just a lot of work to get the paint off. So I finally did get the first one off with the acetone, but it was time to change gears, which is where the paint stripper came in. I have this large bottle of this paint stripper I picked up from Walmart probably a year or 2 ago, and it still works really great. So I'd use it in a lot of craft projects. So all I did was take a paintbrush and I put it on pretty thick over top of the paint. I wait for 30 minutes and then I scratch it with my little scratcher to see if the paint is lifting easily. If it's not, I just wait longer. I just leave it as is. If it's coming up pretty easy, then it's time to remove the paint. So now I'm just going to go ahead and take that little scraper from Dollar Tree. You can also get these at Hobby Lobby, and we're just going to remove the paint off of the side. It was coming up really easily. It looks like I'm working hard here, but it was just a little weird because it's rounded and it's a little bit hard to get all the pieces off just with the round cup and the straight plastic edge that I'm using to remove the paint. And I just use a damp paper towel to remove it. And then of course you'll want to wash your cups afterwards. So then I got this paper from Hobby Lobby. It's a holographic vinyl. It looks kind of like a mermaid tail. It's really pretty, but it is a pain to weed. No matter what setting I put it on, it just did not want to cut well. So I've changed my settings on my Cricut. I finally ended up using the setting glitter vinyl iron-on, and that finally cut all the way through the paper, but not after wasting a few sheets because I just could not get it to weed, and then I couldn't cut it again because it had already cut and made some cut lines. So it was just messing up the paper. But I put all my kids' names on the cups, and I made these really cute flowers for summer to go on the cups as well. And then I just decorate the cups with the flowers all over, and that was pretty much all we do here. But I just want to show you guys these color changing tumblers. They're so fun. So if you guys see them, make sure you pick them up. Even if you don't like the design on the front, you can always change it. So I wanted to show you guys that you're able to do that. I think the yellow cup, or the kind of orange color cup, is actually my favorite. When it changes colors, it turns to a really bright, like red orange. It's really pretty. It would look really pretty to put like palm trees and a sunset on the orange cup. So those are all of our cups done. Really fun. These are the color changing that it does. You guys can see the difference for each cup, so it'll help you decide which one to purchase if you see these out at your Dollar Tree. And now for the HTV vinyl review, which is the new product that Dollar Tree says is their new solid colors of their sheets of vinyl. So this is project number 2. As you can see, they have the solid, the neon, and the glitter sheets that come in 12 by 12. The white and black solid are the new ones that we're reviewing, as well as these gemstone sticker sheets we'll be using, some parchment paper, scissors. We'll also need a razor blade, some masking tape, or some painter's tape will do. Also some t-shirts of various colors. We'll need an iron, a Sharpie marker, and then we'll need a lint roller. Also something to weed the vinyl with. They sell these at Dollar Tree. We're going to be using the parchment paper, and we'll need a regular sheet of paper. So let's get crafty. So the first thing we're going to do is find a template or design that is easy to cut out with not a whole lot of detail. I chose to use this bumblebee and the bumblebee like honeycomb pattern because I was able to make a really easy stencil out of this. And as you can see, I'm using the Sharpie to fill it in. And then once I have it all drawn out, I go in and I put a border around everything, and then I color it in with the Sharpie. And now I know that that is going to be my solid line of the vinyl, and everything that is white will be cut out. I thought this little bumblebee with the flowers was really cute. I ended up adding a few extra flowers at the end. And as you can see, we're just going to cut all the white paper out with the razor blade. This is actually harder to cut it out of the paper than it is the vinyl because the paper wants to move. I think cardstock probably would have been a better choice, but using the razor blade on the paper is a little bit hard just because it wants to kind of buckle up a little bit if you don't push down hard enough. And you want to make sure you get all your pieces cut out as close as to the original edge as possible. If you go a little bit larger, a little bit smaller, it's really not a big deal as long as the line is going to be thick enough so that you're able to cut the picture out of your vinyl. I always think it's important to show you guys how to use this Dollar Tree vinyl. I know a lot of people get discouraged when they see a DIY video and they think they need a cutting machine to use the vinyl, and it just isn't true. If you can cut with scissors and a razor blade, you definitely can use this vinyl without a cutting machine. So as you can see, the glitter vinyl always seems to be pulling from the edges and have bubbles when they come out of the box. And the way they're rolled up, they just don't stick to the carrier sheet really well. I'm assuming it's the glitter that's making it not stick because I don't have that problem with the solid colors. So what I do is I take one of these scrapers and I use it to burnish the top and the back down and to squeeze out all of the air that's between the layers so that my vinyl is laying flat and stuck to the carrier sheet. Then I'll take some masking tape. I'm going to tape this vinyl down to a cutting mat so that I don't ruin my table. And then once we have that taped down, we are going to take our design and we're going to lay it on the vinyl. Now, if you notice, I laid the shiny side down and we're drawing on the matte side. This is the side that is going to be glued to your shirt. So just be mindful of that. If you're using a Sharpie, you want to make sure that you don't put too much black lines in there because it could end up showing up on your shirt if you go out of the lines when you're cutting and you don't actually cut out the black line. So that could show up on your shirt. I actually had that happen to me. So as you can see, I marked each piece with like a little dot so I remembered which pieces would get cut out, and so I wouldn't accidentally cut out one of the pieces that were supposed to be in black. And then everything else that you see, the open space, that's going to show the color of the shirt. And I actually put the word kind in the bottom here, and if you notice, I have it as you would read it, it needs to be backwards. I forgot to what you call mirror. So if you're doing words, you need to put them like you're looking in a mirror. So they'll be backwards before you iron them on. So I had to go back and fix mine. I pulled all the lettering out. And then this little dotted line, I cut it solid to start. It made it easier to remove all the vinyl around it. And then I just cut these little dots out to make it look like his line of, where it shows where he was flying. So here it is all cut out. And now we're going to lint roll our shirt. That's very important. Make sure you wash your clothes before you do the iron on, because sometimes the chemicals will cause the vinyl not to stick. And now we're going to find the middle of our design by folding it in half and putting a little notch with our scissors. We're going to iron the shirt to warm it up just a little bit and to remove the wrinkles, and then lay our design on the shirt. Now we have the shiny side up, and the part that we used to draw on, that is touching the shirt. And of course, you want to use your parchment paper because you don't want to put your iron directly on that plastic sheet. And then after about a minute, we just remove that carrier sheet, and this is what we have left behind. And I am fixing the word kind. Like I told you guys, I had made all the lettering backwards. So now that I am putting it on the shirt here in the front, we can just make sure that it's right in the middle of all those pieces there as best you can. It doesn't have to be perfect. I had it lined up pretty well the first time, but not as easy the second time. And then I was able to see a few lines of my Sharpie marker because I wasn't as careful when I was cutting it out with my razor blade, which is why I'm using these leaves and a couple extra flowers to disguise the mess up. But it all worked out in the end. So if you mess up and you can't see your Sharpie, it's not that big of a deal. You can fix it. I just covered it up with some extra vinyl. And we'll remove those plastic pieces. So as you can see, you do not need a cutting machine to use the Dollar Tree or any vinyl. If you go to Hobby Lobby or Michael's, Joann's, and you find some vinyl that you would like to use, just remember you're going to cut on the back and leave the shiny side because that's the side that's going to be up when you're ironing it onto your shirt. And of course, you can make a design. It's up to you how intricate you want that design to be and how good you are with a razor blade or an exacto knife. This design I found was really easy to cut out and take me very long at all because there were nice big shapes in between. And so that's our first shirt, and that is with the glitter vinyl. And now for our second shirt, we're going to be using the neon vinyl. So again, we're going to put the shiny side down. And this time I am going to use my cutting machine. I just want to show you guys that you can use a stencil to make a iron-on vinyl, but I'm going to be using my cutting machine because I really want to test how the vinyl cuts in the machine. They're permanent, and removable vinyl is so thin that it's really hard to work with in the cutting machines. And so I really wanted to try it out in the cutting machine. And so far, so good. I think these sheets of HTV or high temperature vinyl or heat transfer vinyl are just a lot thicker than the permanent and the removable vinyl that they sell, which is why it rips up from that backing sheet so easily. But as you guys can see, this cuts really well in the cutting machine. I didn't have any trouble with it, and it weeds really well, which is nice. Pulling those extra pieces off of the stencil is nice when it comes right off and you don't have to fight with the pieces. So I did the 4 different colors of neon, and I just made this really cute summer shirt for my daughter with the palm trees, and I just used the color of the shirt as the palm trees in the background. So the neon worked really well. Now let's use that solid new colors that they came out with, which are the white and the black. So we'll use the white one and we're just going to line it up. It's nice because they come in a nice large sheet. You get a 12 by 12 inch piece of the HTV. And of course you put your shiny side down. I cut out these small wildflowers. And the reason I chose this design was because there was a lot of really small lines. And my goal was to see how it would cut out those really small, intricate details. Because again, the other vinyl that Dollar Tree sells just is terrible when you're trying to cut out really small lines. It doesn't want to cut. It lifts up. It lifts up while it's cutting in the machine and gets kind of lost and stuck. So I think this cut really well with those fine lines. So now we're going to go ahead and put it on the shirt. And we're just going to use the heat press for about 30 seconds on 350 degrees. And you hot peel. Just peel that top sheet off and it sticks really well. I made 2 of those shirts with the fine lines and I think they just worked absolutely fabulous. So now let's try the gemstone iron-on art. We're going to be using that in coordination with the glitter vinyl again. Now this time we're going to use this vinyl in the cutting machine and again it's the glitter and you can see how it's all rolled up and lifting off of that carrier sheet. It's got to be the glitter that's making it not stick. That's the only thing I can think of. So again, we're going to go in with our scraper and we're going to remove those bubbles and try to get the lines worked out as best we can and really work on smoothing out that carrier sheet underneath. And we'll do this process to the top and the bottom before we put it on our mat to put in the cutting machine. It takes a little bit of work, so you really want to go over it as best you can and slowly work out all of those bubbles underneath. If you have one bubble and it's not sticking to the paper, mid-cut, you're going to lose your design. It's going to lift up off of the back. It gets torn by the razor and you'll end up with it like stuck in your machine up inside of the cutter. And it's just a real pain to clean out. So I make sure I do this to both sides and I really take my time. And once you do this, it works really well. So I'm assuming over time sitting in that box and just it being the glitter is what's making it lift off of that backing sheet. So I could not get some of the bubbles out. I ended up tearing the backing away and then I smoothed it out and it worked just fine. So this is the silver vinyl here. It weeds really easily once you cut it and it cut out quite well. I was really happy with the edges. And we have those gemstones at the top. We don't want them to be on top of each other. I found that the gemstones won't stick long term on top of the vinyl. So always make sure that they're just next to each other. Do not layer them. I've layered a couple shirts and all the gemstones that were laying on top of the vinyl eventually would flake off. So we have our Faith Over Fear shirt. And then we use the gemstone sticker on a tank top. And we just use this one by itself. It works really well. Always flip your shirt inside out when you use these gemstone stickers and iron the back once you have the front ironed on. And now we'll take this blue t-shirt and we're going to take the gemstone stickers and some of the iron-on vinyl. And we're going to create another shirt here. So I have the word blessed and I wanted to come up with a different design. So we're going to cut the E and the D off and just use the word bless. And then I cut out this design. It says your heart. So our shirt will say bless your heart, which is a saying that they use quite often here in the South, not always in the nicest way. And then I will add a few small red glitter hearts with the HTV. So again, we're just going to layer this. We remove that black backing sheet off the gemstone stickers. And then again, you don't want to layer the gemstone and the glitter vinyl. Make sure they're not touching each other, but you can iron them all at the same time because it takes the same amount of time, heat, and pressure to iron these to the shirt. And then once it cools, we can remove all of the carrier sheets. And then I still take this shirt, I flip it inside out, and I will iron the back just to make sure that that glue is stuck really well. So this is our blue shirt that says Bless Your Heart with the gemstones and the glitter vinyl. And then back to the white vinyl. This was a request from my daughter. She wanted me to make this shirt for her sister. Again, it weeds really easily. You can see how quickly I'm able to remove all of the excess vinyl, which is a huge plus. And then we're going to use part of these hearts here. We're just going to use the heart in the middle. And then we'll hold on to the big heart. We can use that in another project. And this is our Jesus Loves You shirt. And that is on a comfort color shirt from the Dollar Tree. Always check out their shirts. They get a lot of overrun shirts like Comfort Colors, the All Style, Gildan brand, Hanes, lots of shirts. These are all the different designs with all the different kinds of the iron-on vinyl and gemstones that they are selling right now at the Dollar Tree. So I was able to make 8 shirts. So for review of the solid black and white 12x12 HDV, it cuts easily with a razor blade and a cutting machine. Weeding the design is really easy, even if it has really tiny details. It cuts the tiny details really well in a cutting machine. The neon and the HDV vinyl, that's the solid colors, it's very same thickness. It weeds well, cuts really good in the cutting machine and by hand. The glitter often lifts off of that carrier sheet and bubbles between the layers while it's just sitting in the box. So it's an easy fix. Just use a straight edge to fix the layers and squeeze out the air on both sides before you try putting it in your cutting machine. The iron-on vinyl from Dollar Tree, all in all, I would say is a great buy. I will definitely be buying it again. And that's it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And here are some other videos from our channel you might also enjoy. Have a great day, everyone.